Hello and welcome to the Eclectic Knitter podcast. My name, of course, excuse the glare, is Raylene, aka Come On and Knits on Ravelry and Instagram. You can find show notes for this episode, as always, at theeclecticknitter.com. I don't currently have show notes finished, but they will be up when the episode goes up. Episodes, of course, are posted to YouTube and iTunes. Sorry if the lighting is a little bit off. It is currently 10:51 p.m. on December 17th, and I've been meaning to record for quite a while, but it just hasn't happened. So I'm recording now while I feel like it, so you get what you get. You don't get upset. So yeah, it is pitch black outside. It is pitch black at like 6 p.m. currently, if not earlier. So yeah, it's Sunday. I said December 17th. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for watching and putting up with the kind of crazy schedule sometimes. And if you're a new viewer, I hope you enjoy the episode and I hope you come back. I'm not sure if episodes will be consistent going forward. I am in the midst of a move, as you can probably tell by all the boxes everywhere. So I've been in the process of selling furniture, packing. I'm moving at the end of the month officially, but I am going to my parents for Christmas, which I'm doing on Friday, and we're not coming back until we come back to move everything. So I'm trying to have everything packed up and ready to go by Friday. So it's been a little crazy. That's why, part of the reason why I haven't recorded. So finished objects. I have 2 to show. I actually have a third one, but it's on the floor here, blocking, and it is not nearly dry, so I will show that next time if I remember. So the first thing is I finished my vanilla socks. This is Sock Obsession Yarns in her strong sock, I think, or super sock. It's 75/25 merino nylon, 463 yards per 100 grams. This is with a Fish Lips Kiss heel. This is in her Hades colorway. The lighting, the colors are not accurate. You may have better color accuracy for these specifically in last week's episode. The blue is really blowing it out. So the red is kind of fading to the background. They're looking very blue, but they're not. Well, they are, but they aren't. This is a variegated colorway. It just happened to do a stripy pool with my gauge and everything. So those are done. And then I also finished a pair of striping socks. This is Nomadic Yarns Brit sock in the Knit Folk colorway. These are with an Afterthought heel. I am practicing. I've tried, usually I magic loop. I use a 32-inch needle with 5-inch tips, and I magic loop. I tried 9-inch circulars years ago when I first started knitting socks. And the issue, I kind of self-sabotaged when I tried 9-inch circulars, because I tried to I did the cast on and I tried to do ribbing on 9-inch circulars. And I'll talk a little bit more about 9-inch circulars. These were knit on 9-inch circulars. One was knit on a US 1, and I realized that the gauge was too loose, so the next ones I did on a US 0 9-inch, because you can tell on one of them quite a bit that the gauge changes for the heel and the toe, because I still did the toes. I do the toes, the heels, and the cuffs on magic loop. So I'll talk a little bit more about 9-inch circulars because I'm working on another pair of socks that are a whip. I don't have any spinning finish objects. So yeah, this, by the way, the Brit sock from Nomadic Yarns is like my favorite sock base. It's a 2-ply BFL nylon blend. It's a little bit thicker than some of her other bases, but it's still really soft, and I adore it. It's one of my favorite sock bases in general. So, like I said, spinning, I don't have any finished objects. So we're going to do whips next. The first thing I'm going to start with is in my Fat Squirrel fiber bag. This is the Aquina scarf. I don't remember who it's by. It was in a Brooklyn Tweed collection, I believe, last winter. Maybe the winter before. I don't know. It's a very heavily cabled scarf. The whale stitch marker is where I was last time I recorded. I've got about 32 inches done total, and it's supposed to be 72, so I'm not even halfway. This is knit out of Beaver Slide Dry Goods merino mohair, 90% merino, 10% mohair. This is their 2-ply worsted. This is the Mountain Midnight colorway. I am knitting this on US size 8s, that's 5.0 millimeter needles. I did switch the needles that I was working on from regular Hiya to Hiya Sharps, my interchangeable set, and I've noticed the cables are a lot easier. I picked this gauge because I like the way this yarn knits up at that gauge, so this is for a friend. I've already knit him a hat and a pair of mittens. The mittens I have not gotten to him yet. They are sitting in the basket over there, up on the top of the bookshelf, in that pile there. So I'm just going to move this stitch marker while I'm talking to you. The stitch marker, the little whale stitch marker, is from Truffle Shuffles? Truffle, you can find them on Etsy. She had some really cute fox progress keepers, and I wanted one, but I did not get one. And right now she has Christmas unicorn poop up, which is red and white swirl of poop with silver glitter. They're very cute. So yeah, this is, I have knit 1.5. This is my second full skein that I'm working on. I had a partial from the leftovers from the mitts. I found this partial, which is the leftover from the hat. And then I have another full skein. And then I have 2 more unwound skeins somewhere in the stash that I have packed, I think. I don't know where though. These boxes, the boxes here, are all yarn. There's more boxes like it in the kitchen. There's like 5 full boxes of fiber. I have no idea where the other 2 skeins have gone. I showed them a couple episodes ago, and I know where they were when I had the IKEA shelves here full of yarn. I have no idea which bin or box they have gone into. So this may not get done for a very long time if I can't find that yarn. And most of my yarn is going to be stored at my parents' place. And if I'm going to go ripping through it, that's going to be an adventure. I did kind of open up some of the bins and kind of look for it, because I know I would have put it in with other worsted stuff, but I couldn't find it. And I looked for maybe 15 minutes, maybe. So that is too bad. So sad. The next thing is all of my bags are fat. Nope, that's a lie. This is also a Fat Squirrel fiber bag. This is her, I believe it's a large wedge. Living in here is my granny square blanket. I've put another almost 2 full rows on it since you have seen it last. So it is now, or at least almost 1 more full row. I don't remember where it was when I showed it last, but I know this row is new. So the borders are being done, the cream border is being done out of Tanis Fiber Arts Pure Wash Fingering in Natural, and the middles are being done out of Leftovers. I'm doing this 10 wide. Right now I have it 10 wide. It's going to be like a lap size blanket. It covers my lap. That's what I went with. And I think I'm going to be starting out by doing it 12 rows tall, so I'm almost 50% done. And then I'm going to be doing a granny square border, I think 2 rows of the granny square all the way around out of the natural. And then that will be done. So that is coming along. Next, I will pull this out. This is an older project that has not seen the light of the podcast or the light of day for quite some time. This is a Fat Squirrel Fiber. This is her Aran sweater bag. It's way bigger than my head. Now this is being knit on US size 3s. This is on another blanket. This is the memory blanket. I don't remember who the designer is. It's a mitered square blanket. I am doing this all out of Tosh Merino Light. I have 38 squares done. So I put on, this is Baltic. This is one of their new Christmas colorways, the Grinch. I bought a unicorn tail of that. This is Moon Glow. I had this in my Hohi rectangular mystery knit along from this year. And then this is London Fog. No. It's not London Fog. Something gray. French gray. Almost. And this is Posy. So those are the ones that I knit onto it. I started off using a bunch of mini skeins that I received. The Madeline Tosh, one of the Madeline Tosh groups on the Ravelry forums does a Tosh Merino Light swap, usually once or twice a year, depending on interest. So that's what I started off using, and also leftovers from projects that I've knit, because Tosh Merino Light is one of my favorite bases. It was the first kind of single ply I used. I've never had an issue with it, and I love their colors. So since then, since I started working on it, I started collecting unicorn tails, and this whole thing is filled with unicorn tails. So here's like this one. These 3 are also from their Christmas 2017 collection. This is, Grinch was part of this as well. So this one is Blinkin' Beacon. It's a lot more orangey than I thought. This is Pinata Pop. And this one is Frost. And then I have various other ones. Like this is still from the swap. This is Fragrant. And this is Afternoon, also from the swap. So the swap weight was, these are 5 gram, 20 yards. So I did gauge swatches on my first one so that I could use a 5 gram, approximately 5 gram, 20 yard. So my squares are 42 stitches total. And then this is Neon Peach. This is Kryptonite. Occasionally the Madeline Tosh online store, that's the ones that I get with these brown tags, or the ones that I've gotten directly from the store. They sometimes have unicorn tails or full skeins of Madeline Tosh, Tosh Merino Light. Usually TML is a retail only base. Murakami is this one, but I've got tons and tons and tons. So I can keep working on that. So I picked it up and started working on it. They take longer to do than a granny square. Hi, Cyrus. Can I help you? You're kind of in my way. Did you know that? Yeah, I know. I don't know what you want, though. I have a pretty good idea. But I don't know for sure. I don't even want to ask. So next I'm working on a pair of socks. this is the first sock. This is Lollipop Yarns in the Beam Me Up colorway on her Beefcake base. Beefcake is a thicker sport slash fingering. And it comes with the yellow mini skein. And these I'm knitting for a friend who has way bigger feet than I do, because he's a guy. So as you can see, I am knitting these on size 9-inch circulars. These are size 0, 9-inch circulars. This is 72 stitches. I'm going to be doing an afterthought heel about here, and I need to knit 6 inches from here. Or I haven't decided if I'm going to put the heel on this yellow stripe or if I'm going to put it in the middle of this gray stripe. But I will need to decide that at some point because I'll have to stop knitting. So my issue with 9-inch circulars as opposed to Magic Loop is, and one of the reasons why it didn't work the first time, when I Magic Loop, I use 5-inch needle tips like I have in my Aquana. So these are 5-inch tips, and I hold the needle. Do I hold the needle like that? Yeah, so I hold the needle like this, and I rest the needle against the palm of my hand over here, the edge. And I use the palm of my hand to help maneuver the needle through the stitches. Now, with a 9-inch circular needle, that's the needle length. That's the needle length. I cannot rest it against the palm of my hand. So you have to, I use like on this hand, because the way I'm holding the yarn, my index finger is up on my left hand, so I tension my yarn and I use these 2 fingers on the opposite side, and then my pinky sits on the other side to help hold it stable. So I have something to help maneuver it around. Now my right hand, I have these 2 fingers. My thumb still sits on the stitches like it did previously, and then I use basically my ring finger to maneuver the stitches. So it's getting better. I can't knit without looking. Even with Magic Loop, I can't really knit without looking. Now, this is like the 3rd sock that I'm knitting, so my hands have gotten more used to it because I am spending time on it every day. When I first attempted to knit with 9-inch circulars, like I said, I started from the cast on and I tried to do ribbing, and I do a Norwegian or Russian purl, so I don't bring, this is going to be hard probably to see. So my yarn right now is behind, and I can go in and knit. When I purl, I actually bring my needle around and I wrap and then pull it through. And doing that on 9-inch circulars, when you're learning how to hold the needles differently, and you can't use the palm of your hand to help with that around motion because you do kind of acrobatics with your needle tip to get the purl to sit the correct way. I couldn't get through the ribbing. I got frustrated and I quit. So that's why this time I am doing the ribbing and then the heel and the toe on Magic Loop, and then I'm just knitting the body of the sock on 9 inches, and that seems to be working okay. Like I said before, I have a finished object that I can't show. I started and finished a Sonder shawl by Helen Stewart. It's a bulky weight triangular scarf with tassels. I made the tassels first. And I used Madeline Tosh Home in the Flycatcher Blue colorway. And like I said, it is blocking right now. I used just over 3 skeins. I had 4. I was originally going to knit until I ran out of yarn. That's why I did the tassels first. But by the time I got done the shawl scarf as per pattern, I felt it would be big enough. And now that it's blocking, it's way big enough. I don't need, hi honey, I don't need the extra size, length or width. So yeah, I'll show that hopefully next time if I remember. But that was a cast on and then it's done as well. Hi, we'll go outside once I'm done this, okay? I know you have to pee. I know. I know. I know, I know, I know. The next thing, this is a Bird Like Bags bag. One of my first project bags I ever bought. Has a little rainbow zippy on it. I got sucked into another blanket. I've been wanting to start a granny stripe blanket for ages and ages, and I finally did it. I started yesterday. I'm doing sock yarn scraps. I started with I'm doing the same, I'm using the same size hook, actually the exact same hook that I'm using for my granny square blanket, which is a 3.5 millimeter needle or hook. You will not be able to read that. This is just a Red Heart aluminum crochet hook that I picked up at Walmart for probably $2. Hi, can I help you? I know. So I actually had done the startup chain. I want it to fit on my queen size bed, so it's long. I had done the startup chain. I had done the foundation row. I had done 2.5 rows. Leave that alone, mister. I know, you just have to wait a couple minutes, okay? So I had done 2.5 rows of the treble crochets, and the edge was waving, so it was too tight. So I had to rip everything out. And that made me very sad. And then I recast on today. I did have a crochet hook that I bought in error, which was a 4.5 millimeter hook from Hiya Hiya. I don't think I have it here. Nope, that's fine. So I did my chain again. I have not counted the chain stitches that I started with. I did not count. Yesterday, I did my chain, and then when I was doing that second foundation row, I counted, and I had about 575. I think I have about the same this time. So I have gotten further today. This is 4 full rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full rows. So this is using scraps, self-striping, so the stripes are changing as it kind of goes. It is really long. Here you can see I've started row 6. And I am going to be working on it forever. I dropped some yarn, I'm sorry. But I really like it so far. And it's going to be giant. As you can see, I've probably got 200 clusters per row. So, yeah, I've been working on that. My arm is a little bit sore because crocheting uses different muscles. And I've crocheted a lot the last 2 days. So I picked up some of my knitting, and I'm going to be working on that a little bit more. Spinning, I am still spinning some organic Polworth from Ethereal Fibers. I don't remember the colorway. I keep forgetting to bring the tag. She sent it to me as a gift with an order that I had, which was very generous of her. Kelly's awesome. I have a lot of her yarn, and now I have some of her fiber, and I'm really enjoying knitting it. I'm probably going to do a chain ply, so I'm spinning it all just from the braid. I haven't split it or anything. It's got browns and yellows and blues and some greens, but it's like the yellow is like a mustardy, goldy kind of yellow. The blue is similar to from Breathless Air from Hello Yarn, so it's like a pale sky gray blue kind of with some darker areas. It's really pretty. It's going to be lovely. So I think chain ply will be the way to go. So yeah, otherwise I'm just packing When I move, I'm moving in with some family, and I do not know how constant or consistent the episodes will be. I'm not sure what the setup is going to be there or how much time I'm going to have to myself because there's 2 little kids running around. So, well, one little kid running around and the other kid screaming, probably. So, yeah, hopefully they will remain somewhat consistent, but I cannot guarantee anything. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying what you're knitting. I hope you are having a great holiday season, and stay safe and knit on. Bye.